2. The revision 2, we're gonna touch the basic operations. We're gonna go through the board mass. This is where things start getting very serious. This is where you start becoming serious. I know this is a revision. If you take it as a revision, you're gonna miss out. I'm refreshing your memory. I'm refreshing your personality. I'm refreshing you and pairing you with I'm already pairing you with what is coming ahead. This is where you start committing with your learning on this channel. So let's tackle the BODMAS. The BODMAS is an acronym, meaning that each and every letters of the name BODMAS bears a responsibility, defines the name BODMAS. So it says in acronym used to remember the order of operations in mathematics. So in mathematics, remember we have 4 operations. We have sum, product or multiplication, division, addition, or addition or sum. It's the same thing. And subtraction, which means 4 of them. Sum or addition, subtraction or difference, division or partition, product or multiplication. So those are the 4 operations. Till today in 2026, we still use these 4s. And remember, numbers originated from Arabs. That's a bracket. That's a news that I'm giving you. Numbers originated from Arabs. Operations originated from Arabs. We just imported it to nomads, those who travelers from place to place in our world. The arithmetic was expanded, and the people were able to solve different complication situations or matters with the Arabic arithmetics that we call today numbers or digits. So yeah, that's it. So the name BODMAS, which is a sigil, simply the B stands for brackets, the O stands for orders, the D stands for division, the M stands for multiplication or multiply, the A stands for addition or add, the S stands for subtraction or difference. So by this, this is what you need to understand. The BODMAS, the way it's listed right here, the way you're seeing it right here, the way it is listed, that's the way you need to respect it. What do I mean by that? I mean that each and every time in an operation you have brackets, or let's say associated with division, or associated with addition or subtraction, or power or roots. Remember that. I know your teacher in your classroom taught you about this. I'm just reminding you, this is a revision that we are doing. So for those because in classroom not everyone understands everything at once. Not everyone. Some will understand it right there. Some will understand it after class. Some will understand it on their way home, and others will understand it at home. And in the end, there are those that will never gonna understand it until they reach this channel. So if you are one of them, I welcome you. Don't even look down on yourself. Don't even look down on yourself, because I was like you when I was there. I know how it feels. I know what you went through. So that's why I've given you this opportunity for you to be able to grasp it once again. Then I'm going to go with you slowly, and surely you're going to get through it. Believe me. So there is order in solving this. You have to understand that each and every time they've given you an operation with a bracket and there's a division signs there, the bracket, they tend to dominate the division. So you see that on the BODMAS here, you see that the B comes first, and the O, the D, the M, the A, and the S. So the brackets dominate the rest of this order. So each and every time you have an operation, if I scroll down here, let's say something like this. Let me just take you a little bit furthermore. So let's say for instance, something like this one, right? This exercise here, you have 20 divided by 3 plus 2. You can see that there is a bracket that closing the 3 plus the 2. So you cannot go like, okay, let's remove the bracket. Let's start with 20 divided by 3. It's not gonna work. You'll be wrong. Why? Because the bracket dominates the division. It comes before the division. So you cannot start dividing in this example here and doing the rest after. And remember, the number of sun in one operation describes the number of operation. So here we have two suns. We have the division and the addition, which means we have two operations. The first one with the division, the second one with the addition, with the plus. So in this aspect here, if I have to use BODMAS to solve this operation there, but going back, the D comes first before the A. The A stands for addition or add. The D stands for division or proportion. Is the same thing. Or fraction is the same thing. So the D comes first before the A. So each and every time that you encounter when there is no brackets, let's say for instance here, if I take this one, it's a little bit. We're gonna get you. I'm gonna explain to you a little bit advanced, but let's look for the one that can be helpful here. Okay, for instance, this one. So you're gonna see that we have a division here and we have a multiplication, right? So if we go back by concurrency, it says here the D comes first before the M. M stands for multiplication, and the A and the S. So each and every time, if I have the I have the D and the M, I will start using the D first. If I have the two of them, that's what you need to understand. Each and every time you have these two, the D and the M, mean that the division and the multiplication. So the proportion and the product, the D and the M, you start solving the operation on your left wherever the D is. That's the two numbers befriending the D. That does mean that befriending the division sign. Those are the two numbers you start your calculations with. And afterward, you go with the M, which stands for multiplication. So if I go back here, in our case, we come here. I said here, according to the BODMAS rule elaborated above, division has the priority compared to the multiplication. Indeed, because the D comes before the M, because it's BODMAS. D comes first and M's follow. As you can see here, so we went with 16 divided by 2, which is 8. Then we multiply 8 by 5, that gave us 4. And I say not the other way around. You don't go the other way around. Otherwise, it's already going to be wrong. Okay? So, yeah, that's how you do it. The same thing here. Now, you see here, they're kind of vice versa, right? The operation positioning, here we have division and multiplication. This side we have multiplication and division. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You, by following the BODMAS rule, the division comes before the multiplication. So you start with the multiplication. So you go with 10 divided by 2, which gives you 5. Then you say 5 times 4, that gives you 20. So according to the BODMAS rule elaborated above, I'm still referring to this rule here. I'm still referring to this rule. So according to this rule here, for this exercise here, for this example 4, the division is the priority compared to the multiplication. Therefore, the expression becomes, you go with 10. You can say I'll put a bracket here just to create a level of demarcation between this magnitude and the 4 times a number, just to create a level of demarcation. That's why I put the bracket. And the bracket plays a huge role. Brackets plays that they help you solve the problem quicker than not having them. Where they are not there, you have to start thinking or putting them to solve your problem. So here we have 4. So we're gonna go with, like I said, 10 divided by 2 gives us 5, and 5 because the division is greater than the multiplication. So you go 10 divided by 2 gives you 5, and you go 5 multiplied by 4 gives you 20. And I said not the other way around. So if we go back to the same BODMAS again, as you see here, so you have to understand that whenever you have brackets, division, or any other any other operation, if the operation contains the bracket, start solving the operation with the number closing in those brackets. And you go with the other operation, but only obeying this rule, otherwise you will go wrong. We're gonna go through it with operations, in our training exercises. I'm gonna show it to you step by step. You're gonna learn it and you're gonna understand it. I deeply guarantee you're gonna grasp it and you'll be good at it. But for that, you need to understand this rule, the BODMAS rule first. So you have the bracket, you have the odd, and sometimes I think in certain areas in our world, let's say certain countries, they call it BODMAS. Instead of B, they put P. Instead of O, they put E, and you have the DMAS. Yeah, let me just look for something here. Let's just make it a little bit of bold there, because I think it's time to write on it. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's time to give it a try now. It's time to create a little bit of white screen there. So yeah, that's how you did it. But okay, nevertheless, let's keep going. So sometimes you see that in certain part of the world, of our world, as I said, you will see that instead of writing it as a BODMAS here, they say PEDMAS, PED, and the mass comes. P stands for parentheses, the E stands for exponent, and the D for division, the M for multiplication, the A for your addition, and S for subtraction. In some part of our world, in some countries, that's how they put it. Some ways they put it like a P like this, E like so, and you have the D like this, and you have the M, and you have the E, the A here, and you have the S for subtraction. This is how they call it. They say PEDMAS. PEDMAS. They call it PEDMAS. Like this. They call it PEDMAS. But in our case, we are going with BODMAS, which means bracket, order, division, multiplication, and subtraction. So yeah, both of these is the same meaning. Bracket, parentheses, exponent, order or power. You have roots, and because that exponent, you can create a root itself. It's an exponent, because the root itself, it's let's say square root of a. It's a exponent half. No, right? So that's it. So yeah, you can encounter it. You can encounter it anytime. So yeah, that's how you get it done. So yes, uh, by that, yes. So next one, let me just drag it to the corner here, leave it there. So yeah, that's out. So yeah, the next slide here. So then let's keep on going there. So mastering this will gonna help you to solve complicated issues. Mastering with this will be a gain to you. So I advise you to master it. We're gonna go to exercises. We're gonna go the exercises. We're gonna go to the training. I'm gonna probably add more exercises again. If you have any difficulty, don't worry. Just put it in the comment there, or I'm gonna put my email there. You just have to email me whatever challenges that you are facing. Then we're gonna help you. I will be available for you, my subscribers, or for any student that want to get in touch with me 24 hours. I may not automatically reply to your message, but I will definitely attend to it. Probably you have to give me 24 hours, yes, to come back to you. Yes, and in this either I can instantly, now if I'm connected, give you a feedback. That's not impossible as well. So in this expression, every letter is meaningful and solves combining operations consistently, and the operator uses it automatically based on adequate inputs. This is called algebra logic. So the algebra logic, is that, remember one thing, and I'm repeating again: your calculator doesn't have a brain. You are the one who has you are the one who has the brain, not you. Remember that your calculator doesn't have a brain. You are the one who has the brain. You think you are the brain, and your calculator, your device, is the intelligence. It is the intelligence combined with your brain to give you a expected output. But if your input is wrong, if you put wrong digit at the wrong place, or wrong operation at the wrong place, or you hit on the wrong key, it will give you a wrong output. And if you don't respect this BODMAS, even on your calculator, it will give you a wrong solution. So, meaning that relying on your calculator is a bumpy ride. Trust me, it will remain a bumpy ride. So, start stimulating your brain. Start working on yourself. Start not kind of disliking, but but creating a gap a little bit between a kind of a crescent, a ravine between you and your calculator. Distance yourself a little bit away from it, and start using what you have the most important, which is your brain. So on whatever concerns the mate, I will advise you, because I've been there. I've seen it all. I've tasted it. I've cried on it. So taking advice, a piece of advice from someone like I, might definitely be helpful to you. So this is it. So we continue. I'm talking a lot here because I'm teaching. That's why I'm talking a lot. I'm teaching. I'm facilitating. I'm a facilitator. Bear with me, because I want you to understand this thing. So beside the BODMAS, another thing I wanted to touch on, whatever concerns BODMAS again, and I talk about the addition, the division, and the multiplication. Let's talk about the addition and subtraction. The A and the S. The A comes before the S, meaning the A is greater than the S. Meaning that I have to, in whatever I have, whatever operation that was given to me, as long as if the operations that are there, the sign operations that are there, they contain a addition and a subtraction, I need to start with the addition, or add. I need to add the numbers and subtract them later on. If there's a division and a multiplication, I need to divide. As long as there are two, I'm not saying 3, I'm saying 2. Don't get me wrong. As long as there are 2, you have 2 sons, you start with the division and with the multiplication. The division and comes the multiplication. The addition, then comes the subtraction. Or either if you have the multiplication and the addition, you start with the multiplication because it's greater than the addition and the subtraction. If you have the division and the addition, you start with the division because it's greater than the multiplication, the addition, and the subtraction. If you have a square root or a power exponent, or you have any other form of operation beside these 4, addition, multiplication, division, subtraction, you start with that. Or if there are brackets in your operation, you start with the brackets before any other 5 of them, because the bracket gets the greater position. It's a higher, it's greater than the other 5 listed here. So each and every time in your operation you have brackets, start with the brackets first, then solve. Then if you, and after the bracket, you look around. Does your operation contain any roots, any exponent, any power number, exponent number, any logarithm? You look at it there. If it has it, solve it. If it doesn't, and you check again, does it contain a division? You look at the division. If is there a division, then you solve a division. Or does it contain a multiplication? If there's a multiplication, solve the multiplication. But you have, above all, respect the BODMAS rule to get it right. Otherwise, it will become a problem. Remember that. It will become a problem. We're going to go through the exercises. I'm going to explain again step by step to make you understand, because I'm a facilitator. Mr. T.O. Square is here to help you understand step by step. Let's go to the next slide. So these are now stages. It says first, these are now stages how to solve the BODMAS or the BODMAS. First, solving expressions in brackets. So you start with the bracket, because the B, because we have it here, we have the board like this, and the mass like this. Writing it here, BODMAS. So you start by solving. You start by solving the bracket, which means the B here, which stands for the B right here, brackets, and then powers, which stands for over, or you have it powers, or let's say exponent, square root, logarithm, any other function attached to the other, then followed by division or multiplication. It must happen. You can have both of them. So you go with the division here, and you either the two of them or both of them. But remember that the D is way greater than the M. Remember that. Now we're talking about mathematical language. The D is way greater than the M. So the division is greater than the multiplication, and the multiplication is greater than the addition right here, and the addition is greater than the subtraction. That's how you have to see it. Division greater than the multiplication greater than the addition greater than the subtraction. So whatsoever is greater, you start with that one in your operation. Got it, right? So that's how you do it. So you follow by the division, multiplication, left to right, and finally the addition and the subtraction. In your operation, you can have the addition and the division and the addition. So because the division comes before the addition, you start with the division. You start solving your operation with the addition or operator. Then you go to the with the division of operator, then you go to the addition. If you have the multiplication and the subtraction, you start with the multiplication or the product operator, then you finish with the subtraction. But if you have the parenthesis, the B here, if you have now the B here, if you have the B here, which means stands for brackets, you have the brackets and you have the division and multiplication, or you have either, let's say either these two or these two right here, you start with the bracket, because bracket is the first letter of BODMAS. So you start solving whatever is in the bracket, or let's say something like let's say bracket here 2, let's say plus 5 brackets multiply by 3. You don't open the bracket like this, like 3 plus 5 multiply by 3 like this, and you go, you say, okay, I'm gonna keep the 3, then I'll put a plus here, then I will go 5 times 3 gives me 15. This is wrong, absolutely wrong, absolutely wrong. Yeah, absolutely wrong, completely wrong, because it does not obey the BODMAS law. So what you do, you solve whatever is close in bracket, then the result gotten, you multiply it with the multiplication number, because the B comes before the M. B greater, M lesser. You see? So this is how you do it. So yeah, this is how you do. This is how you obey the rule of BODMAS. Remember, bracket, other, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. That's how you solve it. That's how you follow the rule of BODMAS. And remember, let me just go to the next slide first. We're gonna come back there. Okay, let's just go through this. As you can see, we have two operators here. We have the subtraction and we have the multiplication, right? There are two of them. According to the rule of BODMAS, BODMAS, the M comes before the A. M for multiplication, A for addition. So I'm gonna start by solving this by putting a parenthesis here. Yes, either I'll put a parenthesis there, just to create a little bit of demarcation. But like it or not, you can just leave it like that, But I'm putting a parenthesis because of my level. I do understand it already, so I put it. But at your level, what you need to do, just you go straight. You keep the 12 like this. You go minus, you multiply. These 2 times 3 gives you 6, because the multiplication, the M here comes before the S, so meaning that M greater to S lesser to M, so you make it 6, then 12 minus 6 is gonna give you 6, right? That's how you get it. That's what they get this 6 here. On this case again, so we have 7 plus 5 times 3 here. You go equal. We start here because multiplication is greater than addition. So we keep the 7. Then we're going to go plus 5 times 3, or 3 times 5, we have 15. So you're going to give us how much here? 15 times 7 gives you 22, right? 22, because 5 plus 7 gives you 12. That 1 comes in front, makes it 2, 22. There you have it. So in this case here, we have 16 here, divided by 2 times 5, something like this. Or the BODMAS, the D, BODMAS. The D comes before the M. So mean that I have to start with the division here. 16 divided by 2 gives me 8. I multiply it by 5, which means it gives us 40, right? It gives us 40 automatically. And the last one here, let's go. It says 4 much. Let me create a little bit of space here because let's put it here. Okay, no. I want it to be bigger because I'll be able to erase a little bit of space here. But now, wording, I need something smaller. Okay, a little bit of that. Okay, let's go back a little bit. Removing it. Click there. Okay, let's go. We have 40 multiplied by 10 and divided by 2, something like this. According to the rule of BODMAS or PEDMAS, division, the D comes before the M. So we're gonna keep the 4 like this. We're gonna say multiply 10 divided by 2 gives us 5. Then you go 5 times 4, it equal to 20. So we have 20 here. That's how you get it. And besides this, there's no other way. There is no other way besides this. Is how you solve it. So yeah, this is how we were able to get this result. So if I continue with the BODMAS, I think let's continue with the BODMAS. Second example here, as you look at it, we have this. Now we have 3 operators: minus, division, plus. Now we have 3, so it might start looking a little bit needy right now, but keep it in mind. The BODMAS rules still apply, but some of them may become tricky. And the other thing I'm going to share with you, what I've learned throughout, my scholar courses, is that, in this aspect, in this most of these kind of operations, of BODMAS, most of them, in cases they become a little bit complex. The good result is the smallest number in comparison. By that, what do I mean? Let's take an example. This one, right? This one. If we apply the rule of BODMAS the way according to the rule of BODMAS, I mean that when you have the subtraction, division, and addition, the D comes before the A and the S. So meaning that we have to start with the D, right? Meaning that we have 45 minus 5 divided by 25 divided by 5 gives us 5, because 5 times 5 gives us 25. For divided by 5, 25 gives you 5. 5 plus 7, right? This is what's gonna be. Then we do the what? The addition. These two. But okay. We do the addition, meaning that these two. But in the mathematical aspect, let's just go straight. So we're gonna have 45. So in this case, we're gonna say minus 5 plus 7, which gives us how much? Plus 2. Gives us plus 2. I'm gonna go back to the signs. Don't worry, you saw it, right? So we're gonna go back a bit. Don't worry about it. So at the end, we're gonna have 47, right? But we have 47. Check it out. On this, we got the first number 47. And I know many people will start talking about this, but let's get to it, right? So we got 47 there by obeying the BODMAS rule, but on this one, on 3 operators, but on 2 operators at 100%, the BODMAS works. But when we reach 3, 4, now it depends. It's now up to you to understand the given operation, to assimilate to the operation given to you. So the first one, we got 47, right? Now, in my understanding, when I have something like this, in my understanding, when I have something like this one, the first thing I do, I can see that I have a greater operator here, which is the division, and I have another operator here, which is subtraction, and there is let's say there is a addition there, and the division by means, it is simply a fraction. Mathematically speaking, it's a fraction, it's a proportion, meaning that it has a denominator and it has a numerator and it has a denominator. To me personally, it has a numerator and it has a denominator. Why am I saying personally? Because people most of the time they get confused and they have their personal understanding when it comes now to a little more little challenging aspect of BODMAS, when it comes to solving this kind of operation, or let's say given operation. So I know that the division here, it's like a fraction. It has a numerator and it has a denominator. And what I can do to make my life easier here, this, I will recommend this each and every time you have this category of operation. You have a subtraction or an addition, and you have the division at the center, or somewhere between, or somewhere between. This is what you have to understand. If your division is at the center, what you do, you create brackets to make your life easier. Create brackets in other two operators. Do not start with the division, because you're gonna get it wrong. I strongly believe you're gonna get it wrong. What you do, you create brackets, in each and every sides of your division, based on the given other given operators, excluding your division. So you make it in the form of A over B when you have a division at the center, like this one. That's how you can solve this. So what we're gonna do here, if we create the brackets here, something like this, right? So we have 45 minus 25, which gives us what? Which gives us 20. We have 20 here. We have, because according to BODMAS, parentheses comes before division. So soon as you put parentheses here, automatically you have to solve whatever is into parentheses before touching the division. Because I've created parentheses here, so I solve the parentheses for me to be able to solve the division. So 45 times 25 gives me 20, and division 5 plus 7 gives me 12. Is it 5? Let me look at it. I think this has to be a little mistake, because here I'm seeing what is. Oh, it has to be 3. I made a mistake here. It is 3 plus 7, not 5. Please, yeah. Bear with me. It is 3. Yeah, this is 3. So of putting it 5. It's 3 plus 7. Yeah. That was, a slide out for me. A little jump there. It's 3 plus 7. So 3 plus 7 gives us 10. Right? 3 plus 7 gives us 10. So now it becomes easier. 20 divided by 10 gives me automatically 2. Without the blinking. Gives you 2. You see? So BODMAS is as well. You see, we have two results here. We have 2 and we have 47. We have 47, and with a little bit of ingenuity, we have 2. So which one is right? I believe the 2 is right. Why? Because BODMAS falls in the division of simplifications, in the division of simplifiers. So simplifying means reducing. So if BODMAS falls into the simplification category, mean that 27 is bigger compared to 2. Automatically, the result is 2. Automatically, the result is 2. That's what you need to understand. In some categories, they are very simple. You use the BODMAS, they work. But in others that need a little bit of thinking, little bit of your attention, you have to be able to kind of do what I did here by putting brackets to kind of simplify my work, to make it easier. And you have to understand that the BODMAS falls into the category of simplificators, simplifiers. It falls into that category. Speaking of simplifiers, or meaning that refer to simplification, or simplification meaning reducing. You have to reduce. So the smallest result is the solution to the operation. That's it. I will try it again. Let's solve this one again. You're gonna see what I'm talking about. I have to. I'm gonna solve this. This is 3, not 5. A little bit of mistake there. So let's solve this one. We have 25, right? 25 right here minus 10, right? Divided by 1 times 5. First of all, I have the D and the M closer to each other, which is a good thing, which is a pretty good thing. I have the D and the M closer to each other. They are right here. The D and the M. So the D comes before the M, so I'm going to start with the D, right? So what I do here, I start with this, right? Tell me, right? According to the BODMAS, right? I start with this, right? I start by doing D 10 divided by 1, which is 10. Let's do it. Let's go with it step by step. So we're gonna have 25, right? 25 here minus 10 divided by 1. It is 10. So you can also, if you divide 10 by 1, you're gonna get 10, right? So we're gonna keep our 10 here, right? We keep our 10, then we're gonna multiply by 5, right? This is it. Then we're gonna keep the 25 here by obeying the BODMAS rule. Then we're gonna go, because the multiplication is greater than the subtraction, so we're gonna go 5 times 10, which is 50, right? Which is 50 here, right? Which is minus 50, yes, which is minus 50, because we have a minus here. 10 times 5, which is 50, which in the minus here we have minus 50. So 25 minus 50 gonna give us minus 25. So this is obeying the rule of BODMAS step by step. We are having minus 25. Okay, for somebody who hasn't studied, who hasn't learned about the operation signs of plus and minus, how to solve it, it might see, no, this is wrong. No, it's true. It's true, but not right. Yes, it's true, but not right. Yeah. it's 20, like it or not, is 25. Like it or not, it's no, I mean minus 25. Like it or not, is minus 25 because we obey the rule of BODMAS. We went for the division, we did the multiplication, and we did we went with the subtraction, but we are getting a negative number, which is which is true but not right. That's where the problem is. This is where you need attention. Like I said, this is where you need attention. You need attention. So okay, let's keep it the way we did before, right? Let's keep it the way we did before. So we keep it. We put it at the side. We put it at the side here. We say minus 21. Right here, like this. This is the first solution. The second solution is to do with the bracket. Remember, when the division is at the center, your division is at the center like this. Your division, it's a midfield of your left operators and your right operator. Consider it as a fraction, A over B. So I can rewrite this. By that I mean that I can rewrite this as 25 like this minus 10, right? Divided by 1, divided by 1 times 5. I can rewrite it like this, and by this I can add the brackets. I can add the brackets like this. I can rewrite it this way to make it look simple. If you haven't yet studied fraction, then, or you haven't studied proportion, then we have to solve it in the means of a proportion. So we're gonna just build a bracket here. We're gonna build, 2 brackets. One here like this to separate them. The other one like this. So we have brackets now. So the first thing to solve is this one. 25 minus 10, which gives us 15. Divided. 1 times 5 gives us 5. 5 times 1, 5. 1 times 5, 5. So then 15 divided by 5 gives us 3. The next solution here is 3. You see? Do you see that? Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference there? So that is the difference. That is the difference. So when you have 2 operators, it's easy to apply the BODMAS. But when you have 3 and upward operators, you have to think a little bit. You have to know how to solve your operation, what to choose. Look at the position of each and every operators. How to solve this? How can I go from here to here? How can I do this? How can I be able, you have to have that gut thinking. Your intuition has to play. But if you rely on your calculator, that will be a free fall. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said your calculator is a tool. It's not the brain. You have the brain. You're the one who thinks. You're gonna rely on your calculator. So that's why mastering this, it is a huge breath. A huge good breath of air. For the one who's willing to go extra mile in learning. So this is it. So the result is 3. The result is not minus 25 because it's big. No, not minus 25 is big, but 25 is big. And at this level, with a minus, because I know that you study signs afterward, not now. I mean, probably at the exact moment or before, which will work but having a positive solution, I think that will count. I mean, based on my consideration. That's why. So yeah, that's how we can think about this. So each and every time you have a division right in the middle, division operator, what you do, create brackets to other operators. Remember, when you have three operators, like in our case here, subtraction, division, and multiplication, you have to start being intuitive and thinkful. But when you have two like this, or a cakewalk, two like this, a cakewalk, or this, a cakewalk, I'm telling you, a cakewalk. You don't need to think much. You apply BODMAS, start with the bigger operator, and then everything will work for you good. That's all. So yeah, I think I was clear enough. If you have any problem, feel free, put it in the comment below there, or shoot me with an email or a message. Then I will definitely gonna help you.